The San Francisco 49ers season is over after losing on Thursday Night Football to the Los Angeles Rams, and I think changes are coming this upcoming offseason. Welcome to Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. A little under the weather, fighting through it here. That's why we didn't have a video yesterday, but appreciate you guys tuning in here on a Friday. San Francisco now 6-8 on the year. Last night was a must-win over the Rams. They didn't get it. Had plenty of chances, lose it 12-6. Looks like the Rams are going to the playoffs, and looks like the Niners are not. So I think I saw the graphic, less than 1% chance. So they would have to win out and get crazy help. It's not going to happen. Their season is done, and the title says it right there. Changes are coming. I think it's pretty clear after this chaotic season that really started last offseason, there are going to be changes within this organization, and to kind of set the table for that, I think we just need to outline what exactly went wrong this year. And it's not just one thing. There's injuries, off the field issues before the season even started, during the season, all the way leading up to De'Vondre Campbell refusing to play last night. I mean, this was not a typical buttoned up San Francisco 49ers year. I mean, let's just go back to the offseason. To me, this all kind of started with Brandon Aiyuk's holdout and contract dispute. That lasted for what? 4 months? 5 months? I mean, they thought about trading him all the way before the draft, and he didn't get into the building until like a couple of weeks before week 1. Then he doesn't play well early in the year. Then he shatters his leg. So that happens. Christian McCaffrey, double Achilles tendonitis, misses the first 9-10 weeks of the season. Then he gets injured again, basically doesn't play this year. Trent Williams, he held out for a while. That one more understandable because he was under market at left tackle. They pay him. He's been in and out of the lineup all year. And then on top of injuries with Trent Williams, he and his wife had a tragic incident where they had a stillborn. Thoughts and prayers to their family. Can't even imagine what that's like. And Charvarius Mooney-Ward also lost a 1-year-old daughter due to a pre-existing health condition. Just wild stuff, both football-wise and non-football, that this team dealt with this year. That didn't even count guys like Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Jordan Mason, other players being in and out of the lineup. And then on top of that, the players who did play just didn't have their great years. Brock Purdy didn't have his best year. Deebo Samuel has had a train wreck of a year and has caused all kinds of distractions. This week, he's tweeting out, then deleting tweets. I'm getting open. They're just not getting me the ball. What does he do last night? Drops multiple passes, including one that probably would have gone for a touchdown. And Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan kind of fed into that and was like, oh, let's just force-feed Deebo. Let's give him the rock. It's like, he's not making plays for you. So just a train wreck of a season. They blew games earlier in the year, and now they're just a shell of themselves at this point in the season. And I think it's pretty clear that this franchise is going to have to look themselves in the mirror and decide who's a part of this thing moving forward, who isn't. Now, Kyle Shanahan's not going anywhere. John Lynch isn't going anywhere. Their top players probably aren't going anywhere. But there's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and we're going to talk about what some of those could look like coming up here in just a moment. But first, subscribe to the channel for Verts NFL college football coverage here on a daily basis. Assuming I'm feeling better by Sunday, we're going to do a live stream on Sunday during the 1 o'clock Eastern, the noon games, just kind of shoot the shit, shoot the breeze, and keep track with some of the games going across the NFL, a little red zone style action. So subscribe and join us for that. We're going to go live for the Indiana Notre Dame college football playoff game next Friday as well. Lots of fun content to come with the NFL playoffs just around the corner and the college football playoff starting next week. Videos every single day as well. Subscribe, turn on notifications. You're not going to want to miss any of it. So let's get to the roster. Which vets are back? Now, a lot of their guys are under contract. Now, Dre Greenlaw not being one of them. He came back from the Achilles last night. Hurts his left knee, goes out. And then De'Vondre Campbell refuses to play. That whole situation just bizarre. Which, by the way, I think that just points to the chaotic year. Like, something like that wouldn't have happened in years past. Like, it just feels like, for whatever reason, the 2024 49ers they just weren't interconnected, at least not fully. Like, could you imagine one of their, like, at least a somewhat notable name last year just refusing to go into the game? I mean, your season is on the line, and like a 10-year vet, De'Vondre Campbell says, nah, I'm good. I'm not going in. I mean, his career's over, I would think. Who's going to take him, especially considering he hasn't been that good this year. But Trent Williams, McCaffrey, George Kittle. I don't know why I put George. A lot of aging players, a lot of guys with injuries. Now, Kittle's had a big year. I would imagine he's back. But what happens with McCaffrey? I mean, he's under contract. I expect him to be back, but is he the same guy? I don't know. Trent Williams is 36 years old. Does he want to keep doing this? Are you going to have to give him another little pay bump? I don't know. And if he doesn't, you already need to address this offensive line. Without Trent Williams, it's a below average unit. Deebo Samuel, do you cut or trade him? He is a shell of himself. He can't separate on the outside. He still gives you some physicality in some yards after the catch when he catches the ball. But I think last night, Herb Street mentioned he's now gone 5 straight games with less than 40 total yards. Just a non-factor. I mean, Juwan Jennings has clearly surpassed him in that room, but he might have some leverage only because when is Aiyuk going to be healthy and be back? I don't know. And, is Ricky Pearsall going to be fully locked and loaded, ready to go for year 2? Obviously, he had the gunshot wound, which set him back, which was another thing that they had to deal with this year. It's a miracle he even made it in his playing, but, he hasn't done much since he has been playing. Can he take a step forward? They got to figure out which guys on this roster are going to be here because they have a decent amount of cap space, but they got a lot of big contracts and they have a lot of issues to address. Neither the offensive or defensive line is a dominant unit anymore. And, when you think to like the peak 49er team, sure, I may not have been dominant, but with Trent Williams, it was more than formidable. Well, at this point, Trent, even if he plays, chances are he's going to miss some time each year because he's so old. And then the biggest decision is what do you do with Brock Purdy? Now, if it's me, the Niners have the advantage. He has 1 year left on his contract. What is he going to do? Hold out? I just don't think Brock Purdy is going to hold out and hold the team ransom. I just don't think he's going to. And quite frankly, I don't think he has that cachet, even if he wants to. If I'm San Francisco, I approach him with a Baker Mayfield type of deal. Maybe a little more, maybe 3 for like 120, 40 a year, 80 guarantee. And I say, hey, this is what we can do. If not, we're comfortable playing this year out because this madness, this epidemic that has hit the NFL the last 2 or 3 years, where your franchise quarterback is eligible for a contract, you just have to pay him $50+ million. Someone's going to have to stop that because think about the guys outside of the dudes who have gotten those deals recently. Like, I'm not talking about Mahomes, Allen, even Herbert, Lamar. Like, those guys, they're in a tier of their own. Tua, like Trevor Lawrence, right? These Dak, these guys are not in the same stratosphere as the Patrick Mahomes. Some team, I don't know if, and maybe the Niners are the team to do it, has to say, hey, the 9th best quarterback, the 12th best quarterback, wherever you want to put Brock Purdy in the NFL, you're not the 3rd best quarterback. And it's like, well, it's the market. Why? If I'm San Francisco and Brock Purdy wants $55 million per year, I'd say, well, you can play this year out. And if we want to, we'll franchise tag you the next year. Because you know what the franchise tag number is this year? Because it's been discussed for Sam Darnold, $41 million. That's the level of quarterback Brock Purdy is. That there needs to be tiers of quarterback pay. Baker Mayfield makes $35 million per year. Brock should be in the $35-40 million range. That's where Tua should have been. That's where I don't even know if Trevor should have been that high, but if you're going to pay him, that's where he should have been. All these teams rushing, it's like, well, you want to get ahead of the curve. What physical tools does Brock Purdy have where in 12, 18 months you're going to be like, now we have to pay him 58 instead of 52, which we could have gotten him at. If he goes and wins you a Super Bowl next year and is the MVP, you're happy to pay him whatever it takes. But we've seen this year when some key guys are out, McCaffrey's not healthy, the offensive line's missing your left tackle. He's still a good player, but he's not a special player. That pick he threw down the right sideline, down 9-6 with 5 minutes left, is inexcusable. You're in fringe field goal range. Multiple checkdowns were open to secure a field goal attempt. And by the way, it was 2nd down. You still might have been able to convert on 3rd down, and he just tries to play hero ball. You live with that if it's Stafford, if it's Mahomes, if it's Allen. Not with Brock Purdy. What makes him a really good quarterback is his decision making. That was a horrible decision. And without some of his top guys this year, he hasn't made as good of decisions. So they got to figure that out. I know Kyle Shanahan really likes him, and I'm not saying you punt on the guy, but if him and his reps want $55 million per year, sorry, I'm not paying him that. We'll play your fourth year out. And if you hold out, so be it. You're going to be known as the guy who held out 3 years into his career as Mr. Irrelevant when you got this awesome opportunity here. So we'll see where it shakes out from here. But I think it's safe to say, and look, every year there's disappointing teams and this and that and the other. The San Francisco 49ers are by far the biggest disappointment in the NFL this year. I don't think it's even a question. You guys let me know. Will the 49ers be a contender in 2025? Yes or no? Let us know in the comment section below. I think they still can be, but they got some key decisions to make, and obviously some key guys got to be healthy. That's going to do it for us here on 4 Verts. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. My name is Harrison Graham. See you next time here on 4 Verts.